Flight IT 743, Naples, come in, over. Flight IT 743, we lost you, we're losing you.
Riders of the storm, into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown, like a dog without a bone, and after out alone. Riders of the storm, there's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play.
Lend thy hand and pluck thy magic garment from me. So, lie there, my own. When God and I have comfort, the direful spectacle of the rock would show the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have such provision in mine art, so safely ordered, that there is no soul, not smug perdition as unherbited to any creature in the vessel, which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest. Sit still, for thou must no farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, and left me to the Buddhist Inquisition, concluding stay, not yet.
The hour has now come. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came on to this then? I don't think I can't, for then thou was not like 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can. 'Tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once attended me?
Thou hadst done more, Miranda. 12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since. Thy father was a prince of Par and Duke of Milan.
Sir, are not you my father?
Thy mother was a piece of virtue, and she said I was my father. Thy father was a prince of Par, his only heir. A princess, no worse issue.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed was we did.
Both, my lord. By foul play were we heathens, but blessedly halt hither.
Oh, my heart bleeds to think of thy team that I have turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you, farther.
My brother, and thy uncle called Antonio. He next to you of all the world I loved, and to him put the manage of my state. To my government, a stranger being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy fault, uncle, dost thou attend?
Sir, most hatefully.
Set all hearts in the state. To what tune pleased his ear, he had become the ivy which had hid my princely trunk and sucked my verdure out on it. Thou canst not.
Oh, but sir, I do.
I pray thee, mark me. My brother awakened an evil nature, and my trust, like a good parent, did forget it. A falsehood in its contrary, as great as my trust was. He did indeed believe he was in fact the Duke.
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
Have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for. He needs will be absolute Milan. Me. Poor man. My library was strict and dark enough. Of temper royalties he thinks me now incapable.
Oh, the heavens! I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wounds have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. This King of Naples hearkens my brother's suit to extirpate me and mine out of the shoot. For on a treacherous army levied when midnight did Antonio faded to the purpose, and in the dead of darkness opened then the gates of Milan. The ministers to the purpose hurried thence, me and thy kind son.
Alack for pity. I know remembering how I cried out there, but cried over again.
Hear a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Ah, well demanded, wench. My tale provokes that question. So dear they durst not, so dear the love might not work. They hurried us aboard a bark, or some leaks to sea, not frigate, tackle, sail, nor mast, the very rats instinctively have quit. There they hoist us, to cry to the seas that gorged us, to sigh to the winds, did us but loving God.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, ah, cherub, thy walks that did preserve.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water, that a noble Neapolitan Gonzalo did give us. Rich garments, linen, stuffs, and necessaries, their sin has said it much. So of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from my own library, with volumes I prize above my duty.
Would I might but ever see that man?
Sit still, and to the last of our sea sorrow. Here we arrive in this island, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses' kind, that have more time for being our art, and tutors not to compare.
Heaven thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still this beating in my mind, your reason for raising this sea storm.
By accident most true, bountiful fortune, hath mine enemies brought to this shore, and by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend upon a most auspicious star, whose influence I court not but omit, will ever after prove. Here, seize more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep, and 'tis a good dullness. Give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, my servant Ariel, come.
Oh, heal, great master.
Great Sir Heal,
I come to answer thy best pleasure.
be it to fly,
To swim, to dive into the fire.
to ride in the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding task, Ariel in all his quality,
Hast thou spirit? Perform to points the Tempest I gave thee.
to every article. I boarded the king's ship, now in the beak, now in the deck, every cabin, I flamed amazement. Sometimes I'd divide and burn in many places, and the yards and bowsprit I would flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightning, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclaps, more momentary and sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphur's roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege, and make his bold waves tremble, yea, his dread trident shake.
Why, that's my spirit. It was so firm, so constant, that this coil could not infect her reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the man and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine quit the vessel. Then, all fire was meet, the king's son Ferdinand, with hair upstern. Then like grapes, no hair, was the first man that left, cried, "Hell is empty and all the devils are here!"
Why, that's my spirit. But was this not my doing?
Close by, master.
But are the Ariels safe?
Not a hair perish, and their staining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before. And, as thou bidst me, in troops I have dispersed them about the isle. The king's son have I landed by himself, whom I left cooling on the air outside, in an odd angle of the isle, and sitting, his arm, in this sad knot.
Of the kingship, the march, say how thou hast disposed of them and all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in the harbour is the king's ship. In the deep nook, where once thou caused me about midnight to fetch dew from the still extremities, there she's hid. All mariners under hatches stowed, who, with a charm, joined to their separate labour, I've left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet which I've dispersed, they've all met again, and are aboard the Mediterranean float, flying sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw his kingship wrapped and his great person perish.
Thy charge is exactly as performed. But there's more work to be done. What's the time of the day?
Past the mid-season?
At least 2 glasses. The hour 6, and now by us must be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed me.
Ah, now, Meady, what is it that thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be, I do no more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made no mistake, served without grudge or grumblings. Thou didst promise to bid me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I have freed thee?
No,
Thou hast, and thinks it much to dread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp winds of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth, when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgotten the fire-rich cigarettes who with age and envy was grown into?
No, sir.
Where was she born? Speak! Tell me!
Sir, in Orgia.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount which thou hast been, which thou forgettest. This damned witch cigarettes for mystics manifold and sorceries terrible. Thou knowest was she banished. For one thing she did they would not take her life. Is not this true?
I, sir.
This blue-eyed tide was hither brought with child, and here left by the sailors. For then, my servant, as thou reports thyself, was then her slave. But for thou was a servant too delicate to after her at the end of board commands. Refusing her grand test, she did confine me. With the help of her more potent ministers, did an unmitigable raid inside a Cloven pile. Within which thou didst remain a dozen years, and left thee there to vent thy wounds as fast as mildew strike. Then was this island. See for the sun she did litter here, freckled well high hold. Not honoured with a human sheep.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Dull thing I say, so be that Caliban, nigh keeping service. Thy best knows from what a torment I could free thee. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which cigarettes herself could not again undo. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, which did give the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I will rend and oak and peg thee in his bloody entrails, till thou hast pined away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command you. Do my spriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master.
What shall I do?
Say what?
What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no eyes but thine and mine. Invisible to every eyeball else. Go hither, take the sheep, and come out. Go with diligence. Awake, dear heart. Awake. Thou hast slept well. Awake.
The strangeness of your story.
Put heaviness in me.
Seek it all. We'll visit my slave Caliban, who never yields us kind answer.
'Tis a villain, sir. I do not love to live on.
But as 'tis, he does meagre fires, fetches in our wood, and certain offices their proffers. What ho, slave Caliban? What art thou? Speak!
There's one enough within.
Fine aspiration, my twin Ariel, hearken thine.
My lord, it shall be done.
Thy poisonous slave got by the devil himself. Upon thy wicked dam, come forth.
As wicked jeers ere my mother brushed, with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both. The southwest blow on ye and blister you all over.
For this, be sure. Tonight thou wilt have drops. Side stitches that shall pan thy breath up. Urchins for the fast of night will exercise all pains as thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb. Each pinch more stinging than the bees have made him.
I must eat my dinner. This island is mine. Thy Sycorax, my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou made much of me. And gave me water with berries in, and teach me how to name the bigger life and how the lesser which burned by day and by night. And I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the island. Curse be that I did so! For I am all the subjects that you have, and here you stay me in this hard rock where you did keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, who stripes may move, not kindness. I have used thee, thus as thou art.
I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each our one thing or other. But thy foul race the good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore was thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hadst deserved more than prison.
You taught me language. And my profit on this, I know how to curse the red meat. Rich you for learning me your learning.
I'd see tense, fetches and feel and be quick. Thou best to answer other business. Thou neglects or dost unwillingly what I command. I'll wrap thee with those trunks, fill all thy bones with eels, make thee roar that the beasts will tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee. I must obey. His art is of such power. It would control my damned God's sediments and make a vassal of him.
So slave, hence.
Come unto these yellow sands and bend his hand. Curtsy when you have kissed the wild here. Cry cock-a-doodle-doo.
Where should this music be? In the air? Or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. Sitting on a bank, weeping again the king, my father's wrath. This music crept me by upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. I have followed it hence, or it has drawn me rather, but it is gone. No, it begins again.
Full fathom five, thy father lies. Of thy bones will coral meal. Those were pearls that work as eyes. Nothing of him that doth fear.
But don't suffer seeking into something rich and strange, seeing as earlier in his nails.
Take down, hark now I hear them. Take down, Mel.
The ditty does remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor any sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringes curtains of thine eye, advance and say what thou seest yonder.
What is it?
A spirit. Lord, how it looks about it. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No wench. It eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have. This gallant which thou seest yonder is in the rack, but he's something seen with grief that we kind. Thou mightst call him a goodlier person. He hath lost his fellows and strays by the find.
I might call it a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see. As my soul prompts it. Delicate air, I'll set thee free from this.
Most sure, the goddess upon whom these hours attend. Vouchsafe my prayer, may know if you remain safe upon this island, and will me some good instruction give what I may bear me here. My prime request, which I did pronounce last, is, oh, you wonder if you be maid or no?
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language? Heavens, I'm the best of those who speak this speech, were I the word to spoke.
I know. The best? What wert thou thinking of Naples, heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear thee speak of Naples. He does hear me, and that he does, I weep. Myself am Naples, who, never since a death, with mine own eyes, beheld the king my father wrapped.
Lack for mercy.
Yes, faith, and all his lords. The Duke of Milan and his brave son being twain.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could here control thee, if not it were fit to do. At the first sight they have changed the eyes. Delicate air, I'll set you free, please. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong, a word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that I ever saw, the first that I ever sighed for. Pity moved my father to incline my way.
Oh, if the Virgin and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft, sir. One word more. They are both in either's power, but this swift business I must uneasy me. One word more. I charge thee that thou attend. Thou dost hear the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy, to win it from me that Lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
If the ill spirit have so fair a heart, good things will strive to dwell with it.
Come, speak not to for him, for he's a traitor. Come, I'll monitor thy neck and feet. See what it hath thy drink. Thy food shall be the friendless muscles with the brutes and husks from the egg from freedom follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle and not fearful.
What I say, my foot, my children? But thy sword up, Peter, who makes the show, but dares not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy board, for I can here disarm thee with this stick, and make thy weapon strong.
Beseech you, father.
And tie not my garments.
Sir, have pity, I'll be his surety.
Silence. One word more, shall make me die thee, if not heal thee. Thinks there is no such apes as he, having seen God's him in Caliban. Foolish wench to the most of man. This is a Caliban, and they to him are he.
My affections are then most humble. No ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come, thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits as in a dream are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wrack of all my friends, nor this man's threats, are but light to me. Might I but once a day behold my prison, behold this maid.
It works. Come, follow. Why hast So well then, follow me. Talk, what I shall do.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is a wonder which now came from him.
Thou shalt be free as mountain winds. Then exactly, do all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not ye for him.
Why, beseech you, sir, be merry. On, so have we all of joy. For our sake is much beyond our law. Our people always come. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just our payroll rule. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in the community would speak like us. So wise and good sir, why our sorrow and our comfort?
Oh, I prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give him over so.
Look, he's finding out the watch of his wit. By and by will strike.
Sir,
1, 10.
when every grief is entertained, comes to the entertainer,
$1.
$1 is right. You have spoken truer than you proposed.
You have taken it wiser than it might be sure.
Therefore, my lord,
Fie, what a spendthrift he is this. Oh, I prithee, spare.
well, I have done, but yet
He will be talking.
Which of he or Idrin will be first to grow?
The old cock.
The cockerel.
Done. The waiter.
A laughter.
A march.
All this island seemed to be desert,
Ha ha ha.
So, you're paid.
uninhabitable, and almost inaccessible.
Yet,
Yet,
He misses not much.
it must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperament.
Temperance. What a delicate wench.
I, and as subtle as he most learnedly delivered,
The air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
as if it had lungs and rotten bones.
Or 'twere perfumed by a femme.
here is everything advantageous to life.
True. See of means to live.
How lush and lusty the grass looks. How green.
The ground indeed is honey.
With an eye of green in it,
He misses not much.
no. He doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit,
As many most rarities are.
that our garments, being as they were, drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of his pockets could speak, would it not say that he lies?
Methinks our garments are now as fresh as when we first put them on in a free, at the marriage of the king's fair daughter Clarabelle to the king of Tunis.
I think he will take the silent home in his pocket and give it his son for an apple.
Sir, we were saying that our garments seem now as fresh as when we first put them on at the marriage of your daughter, who is now our queen.
Oh, you cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of mine sense. I have never married my daughter. For coming thence, my son is lost. She too, in my reign, is far from Italy removed. I ne'er shall see her.
Sir, you may live. I saw him beat the soldiers under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, his innocent put on his side, and rested the soldiers most bold of them. His gold head above the contentious ways he kept, and ordered himself with good arms and lusty stroke. To the shores o'er his real war bases bound, and stooping to relieve him and not done. He came alive and found.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss. It will not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she, at least,
the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth that you speak doth lack some gentleness. You wrote the sword when you should bring the cluster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir. Had I a plantation on the side, my lord,
He'd sow it with nettle seed.
Or ducks or mallows.
and were the king on it, what would I do? In the Commonwealth, I would by contraries execute all things, for no kind of traffic would I do. No name of magistrate, letters should not be known. Riches, poverty, use of service, none. Contract, succession, born, bound of land, tilt, vineyard, none. No use of metal, corn, wine, or oil. No occupation. All men idle, all, and women too, but innocent and pure, no
Yet
sovereignty.
he would be king on it.
The latter end of this commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common nature should produce without sweat or endeavour. Treason, felony, sword, pike, knife, or gun, or need of any engine would I not have. But nature should bring forth of its own kind all poison, all abundance, to feed my innocent people.
No marrying among his subjects.
None. All men idle. Whores and knaves.
I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
God save his majesty.
Long live Gonzalo.
I prithee no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
Continue, and laugh at nothing still.
What a blow there was given.
And it had not fallen flat all.
You are gentlemen, all brave men. You would lift the moon out of her sphere, she would continue in it 5 weeks without changing.
We would so.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
Will you laugh me asleep then?
Go sleep and hear us.
Why, also soon asleep. I wish mine eyes too themselves shut up my thoughts. Find they're inclined to do so.
We too, my lord, will watch you while you sleep, and guard your safety.
Thank you. Oh, what was happening?
What a strange driving this Sir.
It is a quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then more island sit? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together as by consent, as by a thunderstroke. And yet, what might will Sebastian? What might? I see it in thy face, and the occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What art thou making?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say?
Noble Sebastian, thou let fortune speak. Die rather, wakest while thou art waking.
Let us snore distinctly. There is meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too.
Well, I understand the water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Prithee, say on, in setting up thine iron cheeks to clear the magic of thee.
It is impossible that the king's son is undrowned. He swims where he sleeps.
I have no hope that he is undrowned.
Or is that no hope? What great hope have you? Will you grant me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He is gone.
Then tell me, who is the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle?
Clarabelle. She that dwells 10 leagues beyond a man's life. She that from Naples can have no note.
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true my brother's daughter is Queen of Tunis, and so is heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out. How shall that Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep into this, and let Sebastian wake. Why, if this was death that now had seized them, there would be no worse. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your conscience depend on your own good fortune?
I remember you to have your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much better than before. My brother's servants were once my fellows, and now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir. Where lies that? Here lies your brother, no better than the earth that he lies upon. If he were what which now he's left, that's dead. Whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it,
could lay to rest forever, whilst you doing thus perpetual wake, and I with this ancient morsel. And for the rest, they'll take suggestions as cat laps no.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my president. As I got to Milan, I'll come by Naples. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the queen, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, you two do the same to fall it on Gonzalo.
My master, for his art perceives the danger that you, his friend, are in, and send me forth, for else his project die. Keep them living.
While you hear two snoring lie, open thy conspiracy, time will take.
Life he keeps head, she just summer everywhere. Away!
Then let us both be silent.
Just run the king!
Why are you awake? Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here, securing the repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing, like bulls, or rather, lions. Didst not wake you? Struck my nerves terribly.
I heard nothing.
Why was it day that fried a monster here? Like an earthquake. Why was a whole herd of lions?
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon my honor, sir. I heard a humming, and not a strange one too, which did wake me. I shaped you, sir, and cried, and upon mine eyes opening, I saw there was a storm. There was a noise. That's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quite misplace.
Lead off the strike. Let's further search for my poor son.
Oh, heavens, keep him from the beast, for I am sure he is on this eye.
Lead away.
Go through, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
Out of my way, unless you bid it. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometimes like apes, which mow and chatter at me after biting. And then my hedgehogs, which point their pricks at my footfall. I am all wind with others, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into badness. No, no, no! There comes a spirit of his, to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll fall flat. Chance. You want to find me.
Gives neither bush nor shrub to bar off any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul vomit that would shed his liquor. If it take thunder, as it did before, I know now where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall my pale post.
even sing at a man's funeral. Oh well, here's my comfort.
Every fertile into the island, and I will test thy foot, I pray thee, be my
By this like the most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll swear myself thy subject, and I will kiss thy foot.
Come on then.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. The face of him hurt to beat him.
Come. Yes.
But not the poor monsters in drink, and abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs, and I will pluck thee berries, and I'll fish for thee, and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I've served. I'll bear him no more steps. Follow thee, I wonder.
Most ridiculous monster. Make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I pray thee, let me bring thee more crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts, and ensure thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble monoset. And I'll bring thee to clustered forests, and sometimes I'll get the young scammers from the rocks. Wilt thou go with me?
I pray thee lead the way, but without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and our company being drowned, we will inherit here. Monster, bear my bubble. My fellow Trinculo will fill him by and by again.
Farewell, master. Farewell, farewell.
Howdy, monster! A drunken monster!
No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetch and find I'd require. Bam! Bam! Caliban! My new master. Get a new man. Freedom! Hidey! Freedom! Hidey! Freedom! Hidey!
Oh, great monster, lead the way.
Their labour and liking and sets up. Sometimes a baseness of nobody undergone, and most for matters point to their death. This, my main task, is heavy to me as it is, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead, and makes my labours pleasure. I must remove some thousands of these logs, and pile them up upon a sword jump. My mistress weeps whenever she sees me work, says such baseness I've never liked executed.
Alas, my prince, what not so hard? I would the lightning had burned up this soul for your joy to part. Pray, set it on. Rest yourself. When this burns, will weep for having wearied you. My father's heart is stunned. Pray, Lord, rest yourself. He sees with these 3 arms.
No, the sun will set before I can discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your own flag. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the father.
No, precious creature. I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, and you should such dishonour undergo while I sit busy by.
They would become me as well as love you, and I would do it much for you. For my good will is good, and yours it is again.
You're a worm. Thy art infected. Dismiss you.
You look weary.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I may set it in my private. What is your name?
Miranda. My father, I would be remiss to say so.
Admire Miranda, indeed the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the happy with their tongue, happy in bondage from 2 billion years. For several virtues have I left several women, never any with so full soul, but some defect in her to quarrel with no ratio and good to the full. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save from my glass mirror. Nor have I seen more than I may call men than you, my dear friend. Oh, my good father, your features are broad, and Miss still is small. But, by my modesty, the jewel of my darling, I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape beside yourself to like of. But I promise you,
daring to forget.
I am, in my position, a prince, Miranda. I do think you gave. Here my soul speaks. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. And there resides to make me a slave to it. And for your sake, am I this patient love.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to this sound. I, beyond all limit of what else of the world, who love, prize, honour you.
I look full to weep but I'm glad.
Fair encounter of two most rare effects. Heaven's rain grace upon that which breeds between.
Wherefore weep you?
And mine unworthiness. I dare not offer what I desire again, much less take what I shall die to want. I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid.
My mistress, dearest, and I must humble everything.
My husband's head,
I, with a heart as willing as freedom ever bondage. Here's my hand.
and mine, with my heart in it. And my farewell will happen our head.
1,000,000.
So glad of this is day I cannot or surprised with awe. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll my book, for yet their supper. Must I perform much business opportunity.
Hell on me. When the butt is out, we will drink water and all drop. But it will bear up and board it. Sir, monster, drink to me.
Servant monster? The folly of this island. Is there never five upon the island? We are three of them. If the other two be playing like us, St. Potters.
My man monster drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam in before I could recover the shore, 35 leagues off and on. Speak, drink half for once in thy life. Let's be a good room drop.
I trust thy honour. Let me let thy show. I'll not serve him. He is not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster.
No, why he mocks me? Was I let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such natural.
No, no again. Bite him to death, I pray thee.
Drink alone, good tongue in thy head. If thou should prove me near in the next tree, the poor monster is my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the said I made to thee?
I will.
As I said, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me out of the island.
Thou liest.
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey thou! I would my valiant master would destroy thee, I do not lie!
Drink alone, show the monster no fervour in his tale, or by this hand, I'll supply some of your teeth.
Well, I said nothing.
Mum then, and no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this out, from me he got it. If thy greatness shall revenge upon me, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That is most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I will serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Can you bring me to the market?
Yeah, my lord. I lead him to his sleep, where thou makes knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst not.
What a pipe any this? Thou scurvy patch, I do beseech thy greatness. Give him blows, and take his bottle from him. After that, he'll drink naught but brine, for I'll not show him where the quick fresh are.
Drink alone. Run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand I'll throw my mercy at the doors and make a stop with you, Lee.
Why? What did I? I did nothing. I'll go further off.
Did I not say he lied?
Thou liest.
Oh, dear myself. Take that back. That's all right. Give me the light another time.
I did not give the lie. And your wits in here too. A pox of your bottle. This to sack and drink you do. A murrain on your monster. And the devil take your fingers.
Come, master. Proceed with your tale. Prithee, stand further up.
Beat him enough. After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Stand further. Come, proceed.
As I say, it is a custom for him in the afternoon to sleep, where thou wavy utensils, for so he calls them, that when he has a house he'll deck it all. And the most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I've never seen a woman, only sycorax and I down. She flourished her papa's sycorax, the greatest of lips.
Is it so brave, alas?
Aye, my lord. She will become my lord I ward and bring forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His father and I shall be king and queen of the isle, and myself and Trinculo shall be viceroys. Does that like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Oh, give me thy hand. I'm sorry I beat thee, but whilst I live, trying to escape something like this.
Within this half hour, he will be asleep. Will thou destroy his men?
Aye, on mine honor.
This I will tell my master.
This makes me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be talking.
What is this thing?
This is the tune of our catch. Played by the picture of nobody.
That be a man. Shall I say without likeness? That be a devil. Who's that this?
Oh, forgive me, my sin!
He that died pays all this. I defy thee. Have mercy upon us.
Our daughter fears.
No. No, monster. Not I.
I know it fears. The air is full of them. Songs and sweet airs to give the light a good love. Sometimes, thousand twangling instruments will come about my ears. And then voices. That if I had waked up no longer sleep, make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds would open and show riches, ready to drop out upon me. But when I wake, I cry through the day.
It shall put a brave kingdom for me, where I shall have my music for nothing.
When Crossmore is destroyed,
Aye, that will be fine, but I remember the story.
The sound has gone away. Let's follow it and after do our work.
Leave, monster. We'll follow. I will let you see this paper where he lays it on.
I'll follow Stefano.
I can go no further, sir. My own bones. Here's the maid's straw, 4 bites of the antlers. By your feet. I need no rest.
Oh Lord, I cannot leave thee. We are myself it hath weary to the filling of my spirit. Sit down and rest. He is drunk, not too straight to find. And the sea moths are frustrated search on man. Well, let him go.
I'm right, lad, so art of hope.
The next advantage we will take it thoroughly.
Let it be tonight.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friends. Hark.
Marvelous sweet music.
A living drollery. Now I believe that there are unicorns. That in Arabia there's one tree, the phoenix throat, 1 hour, listen, reading there.
They give me this, I should report this now. Would they believe me if I should say I saw such challenges? The spirit easy does pull up the eye. We are monstrous shapes. Yet no their manners of our gentle kind, but are from a generation. Like many, nay, all.
Honest Lord, thou hast said well. Your son be there present, are worse than devils.
As I too much eat such shapes, such gestures, and such sound expressing, and as though they will be used to crown, an excellent dumb discourse.
Will it please you to taste the first name?
Not I.
But be it certainly not fair. When we were young, we would believe there were one to be age enough like those who sort of tiny acts and wants of flesh, or that there were men whose heads in their breasts.
I will stand to and feed, although my last. I feel the best is past. Brother, my lord the two, stand to and do as we.
You are 3 men of sin. Your destiny that hath to instrument this lower world and what is in. But never surpass see how
found you most men being most unfit to live. I have made you mad. And even with such like valor, men hanging tried their proper selves.
You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with the mock-staff stabs kill the still-frozen waters, as the minute one violence in my bloom. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you. The usury from the land did supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea with half acquitted. Him and his innocent child forged foul deed. The powers delaying not forgetting have incensed all the seas and shores. Yea, all the creatures against your peace.
You guys settle on so they have bereft, and do pronounce finally lingering perdition, worse than any death can be upon. Shall step by step attend you in the way. Whose wrath to else guard you from, which here in this most desolate isle, else flow upon your head, is nothing but a heart sorrow, clear like the sea.
Briefly, the figure of this harpy passed by performed my area. Agrius, it has bar. Of my instruction, hast thou nothing beaten to what thou hast to say. My meaner ministers, their several kinds have done. My high charms work, and in these fits I lead them. Whilst I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is wrong, and is in mine loved darling.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange shed?
Oh, it is monstrous. Monstrous. The dumb fellows spoke and told me of it. The thunder. That deep and dreadful organ pipe. Pronounced the name of Prosper. Did this my trespass. Therefore, my son in the Jews is live fed. And I'll seek him deeper than e'er plummet sounded. With him, their land mothers.
But one feet at a time. I'll fight their legions over.
I'll be thy second.
All three of them are desperate. Their great guilts, like poison, given to work a great time after, like things to bite the spirit. I beseech you, that are supple of them, follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this strange ecstasy may now provoke them to.
Follow, I pray you.
If I have to be austerely punished, your compensation may stand. For I have here given you a third of mine own life, for that for which I live, which once again I tender to that. All thy vexes were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. O Ferdinand, do not smile that I boast of it. Thou shalt find that she will outstrip all praise, and take it all behind.
I do believe it. Against an order.
Then, as my gift, and thine own acquisition, worthy prince, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin not, before all sanctimonious ceremonies, Hamlet full and fully rightly ministered, then no sweet aspersion from her heaven, let's go. But barren hate, sore eye, disdain, and discord shall stay of their head. So guilty that he shall be exposed. Therefore, take heed, as heaven stops shall I do.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue, and long life with such love as is now. The murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion our worship genius can, shall never melt my wonderings of us. Take the edge of that day's celebration. When I shall think of Phoebus' steeds are foundered, the night kept chained to them.
Very spoken. Sit then and talk. She is thine. Come, my illustrious servants, come. battle over my complete part here to this case. For I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine own.
Before you can say come and go, breathe twice and cry so, each one tripping on his toe, will be here with mop and hoe. Do you love me, master? No?
Dear, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call. If thou be true, do not give dalliance to Mastery, for the strongest oaths are but straw to the fire of them. Be more abstinence, or else good night is wrong.
I warrant you, sir, a white cold snow upon my heart abates the ardour of my liver.
Where? Up here I'm perfect, no tongue, all eyes be silent.
Serious most wise lady of thy rich days, of wheat, rye, barley, oats, and peas. Thy turfy mountains where live nibbling sheep, and flat meads thatched with straw for them to keep. Thy banks with piled and twilled brims, which spongy April at the heads trims. To make cold nymphs chase crowns in thy green groves, who shadow the dismissed bachelor loves. Being last lord in thy pole-pit vineyard, and thy seamard sterile and rocky hard, where thou thyself dost air the queen of the sky, whose watery arch and messenger am I. Bids thee leave these with her sovereign grace, here on this grass plot at this very place, to come and sport her peacock's fly amain, approach your service to entertain.
Hail, many-coloured messenger that ne'er dost disobey the wife of Jupiter, who with thy saffron wings upon thy floors to pieces fully drops refreshing shores, and which he provides the bull of crime, the boss acres, men shall dine, rich garb to proud earth, why hath thy queen summoned me hither with short grass green?
A contract of true love to celebrate, and some donation freely to your state, on the blessed lovers.
Tell me, Annabelle, if Venus and her son, which thou dost know, do not attend the queen, if they plot by dusky wings, just my daughter got her and her blind boy's company scandal, forsworn.
Of her society be not afraid. I met her deity cutting the clouds towards Paphos and her son. Dove drawn with her, they thought to have done some wanton charm upon this man and maid, whose vows are that no bed light shall be paid until Hymen's torch is lighted, but in vain. Mars' hot minion is returned again. Her wash-beheaded son has broken his arrows, swears he will shoot no more but play with sparrows and be a boy right out.
Highest queen of state, where Juno comes, I know her by your gait. And does my bounteous sister go with me to bless his twins, that they may prosperous be and honoured in their issue? Honour, riches, marriage, blessing, long continuance and increasing. Early joys be still upon me, next speaks from blessings on me. Earth's increase and boys in plenty, barns and garners never empty. Vines the clustering bunches growing, plants feebly burn and growing. My spring comes in at the farthest, even at the very end of harvest. Scarcely one shall shun you. So there's blessing, noise on you.
This is a most majestic vision, and harmonious charmingly. Might I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits, which by mine heart I have called here to enact my present task.
And let me live here ever. So rare a wonder, father and wise, makes this place paradise.
Silence. You know I'm serious with her, seriously. There's something else to do. Hush now, be mute, or else her spell is more.
Ye nymphs called naiads with the wandering brooks, with your sedge crowns and ever-promised looks. Leave your cursed channels and on this very land, answer your summons, Juno does command. You sunburnt sicklemen of August weary, come hither from your furrows and be merry. Make holiday your rice-straw hats put on, and fresh nymphs encounter every one with country footing.
I forgot that funny conspiracy of the beast of Caliban, his confederates against my line. The minute of their plot is almost come. Well done, avoid no more.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never till this day saw I any touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a mood sort of as if you were slain. Be cheerful, sir. All are rebels, now are enemies. These are actors, as I foretold. We're but spirits, and are melted in the air into thin air. And like this insubstantial pageant field, leave not a rapid behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. And our little life is granted with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed, very thankful for my old age. If you be pleased, retire to my cell and bear me fruit. A turner shall walk, still my being mine.
We wish you good.
Come with the thought, Ariel, come.
My thoughts I think too. What is my pleasure?
Spirits, we must prepare to meet the Beast Caliban.
Aye, my commander. When I presented the series, I thought you had told me of it, but I feared lest I ran angry.
Say again, where did I meet these parties?
I told you, sir. They were rebel, dirty, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for the kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards the project. Then I beat my taper, at which, like unfat colts, they lifted up their ears and danced their eyelids and pricked their noses as they smelt music. So I turned their ears, they calf-like they might only follow. Two squires, sharp verses, pricking horse and thorns, which echoed their pure tune. At last I left them, in the filthy mountain full beyond your cell, there dancing up to the tunes that the foil lady was stuck with.
This was well done, my lord. My sheep invisible, retained by still. The trumpery in my house. Go, bring it to them. Restore the cups, please.
I know I go.
A devil. A born devil. On whose nature nurture can never stick. On whom my heels, you mainly taken are lost, all lost, quite lost. And as with age, his body uglier grows, and so his mind tightens. I will plague them all, even drawing. Come, hang him on this line.
Pray you, tread softly. The blind boy may not hear a footfall. We nor near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, would you say, is a harmless fairy? It's a little better than playing the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, and which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, Monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look you.
I work at a loss, monster.
Good, my lord. Give me thy fear still. So if I shall bring them, shall quit when business. Therefore, speak softly. All hushed with thy death.
I but to lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that, but infinite loss.
That's more to me than my wagon. Yet this is your harmless furry, monster.
I will fetch my bottle, though I be over ears for my labour.
Repeat my king. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise and enter. Do that great mischief which will make the island thine own forever, and I thy paladin.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stefano! Peter and Bernie Stefano! Let's put a word to peace for this!
Let it alone, my fool, it is but trash.
Oh, home and a whooping off different rain!
Do not let me down, people. By this time, I will have this ground.
My grace shall have it!
The drossy dryness, fool. What do you mean to dump us on stoppage? If he awake from Turricornia, fellows gives him pitches, thick or straight stuff.
Be you quiet, monster.
A monster brings a flame upon your fingers!
I hope not. We shall lose our time. We turn to barnacles or ears before him. Fill us low.
Monster, lay to your fingers. Now bear this away from that hotel wine in me. Turn out of my fingers. Go to, carry on.
And this!
Aye. And this.
Edward and Penn.
Silver, there goes silver!
Fury there, time there, hard. Lord Michael was not they try their grind. Shorten up their tools to the ancient trumps. Give them war pits, but they cannot, or forge, or might. Hark they roar! Let them be hunted silently. And this lies up mine person, all mine enemies. Shortly shall all my neighbors be. And thou shalt have the air of free. For this, follow and do service.
This is the end. Oh,
my spirits obey untie and leave the upright in its time. How's the day?
On the 6th hour. At which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so, when first I used the Tempest. Say, spirit, how fares the king and followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you do in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir, in the line of the weather fence Sarah. They cannot budge to be released. The king, his brother and yours, abide all three distracted, and the rest mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly, him you turn, sir, good old Lord Gonzalo. The tears run down his beard like winter's drops when leaves the breeze. Your charm so strongly works them that if you now beheld them, your affections will become tender.
Dost thou think, ye spirit?
My word, sir, you are human.
And my child? Hostile, which art to the air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, shall not myself be kindlier moved than thy art. So with their high wrongs I'm struck the quick. Yet, with my noble reason, I take part. For the rare action is in virtue than in flame. They being penitent, so drift of my purpose soft extend, not a frown further. Go, release them area. My charms outbreak, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
This rough logic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly reason, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses, that this airy charm is for, I'll breathe it myself. Buried certain fathoms in the earth, and then deeper than ever did plummet side, I'll draw in my book. There's not, for your spell stopped. Oh, good Gonzalo, my true preserver and a loyal servant, I will pay thy prices from both in words and deed. Most cruelly didst thou not use me and my brother. Thy brother was a further in the act. Thou pinched for it now, Isabel. Flesh and blood. You, brother man, you entertained ambition, and with Sebastian, would have tutored me. I do forgive you. Unnatural as they are. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore which now lies foul and hungry. Ariel, fetch me my hat and rapier in my hand. I will displace me as it was some time ago. And quickly, spirit, I shall ere long be free.
Wait at least that's there, struck I.
And because it's fell out,
There are twice the royals to cry.
On the back I do fly,
after summer merrily.
Merrily, merrily, shall I live, Lord?
under the blossom that hangs on the bar.
My that's mighty dear. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have me. So. The kingship, the mark. There shalt thou find him asleep under the hatches. The master and the boatswain being awake, enforce them to this place, and presently I could.
I drink the air before me and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
Oh, trouble, torment, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Oh, some heavenly power guide us out of this beautiful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, prosper. For more assurance that a living prince does not speak to thee, I embrace thy brother, and to thee and thy company, with a hearty welcome.
Whether this, dear know, or some enchanted trifle that abuse me. As late as I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, but since I saw thee, the affliction of mine immense, in which I fear a madness in me. Thy dukedom I resign. Thy entreaty pardon me my wrong. I should prosper be living and be here.
Noble Gonzalo, let me embrace thy meat. This honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not
For
sign.
you do yet taste some subtleties on the eye, which will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. God, to you my praise of you. For I so minded, I can pluck his highness's crown upon you, and justify you to you. But this time, I will tell you truth.
The devil speaks.
No, for you, most wicked servant. You call brother ready even infect my mind. I do forgive thy rankest fault, and require my system of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest prosper, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here. In 3 hours since we were wrapped upon this shore, where I have, how sharp the point of my remembrance is, lost my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss. Patience says it has her cure.
I rather think you've not sought for help. Of you sought grace, I have the like law, for sovereign ease and rest myself in strength.
You would like God.
Greatly less late, unsupportable. Have thy means much weaker than you have to call comfort. For I have lost my daughter.
Daughter. Oh heavens, that they were both living in Naples, a king and queen there. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last August. Know for certain that I am prosperous. And that very duke who was thrust forth in Milan, and here was landed, where you were wrapped, to read the load on it. No more yet of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day, not a relation for a breakfast, or befitting this first meal. Welcome, sir. This cell's my quarters. Here are my few attendants and subjects not at all. Pray, look in. And as you give me my dukedom again, I will requite you with this good thing, at least call for the wonder to continue, as not to be my dukedom.
Sweet Lord, you play me false.
My dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for the door of pagans you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this be a vision of the land, one dear son shall I twice lose.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I curse them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee, if I did say what thou came here.
Who wonder? Many goodly creatures are here. Who brings me world that has such people in it?
'Tis new to me.
Who is this me? Is it if I was to play? Your eldest acquaintance must not be but 3 hours. Is she the goddess that hath severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by mortal providence, she is mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard now, but never seen before, of whom I have received second valor, and second valor this lady gives unto me.
I have hers. How all people are sound that I must ask my son for forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with the heaviness that's gone.
Oh, I have been wept and should have spoken music. Look down, you gods, and on this drop of blessed crown. For it is you that have chalked forth the way that brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from the land that its issue should become king of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy, and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Clarabelle her husband find at Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife, where he himself was lost. Prospero was drifted in a poor island. All of us ourselves were no man was his own.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow not embrace this heart that doth not give you joy.
Be it so. Amen. Oh, look, sir. Here is more of us. I prophesied with colors from land. This fellow could not drive. What is the news?
Oh, well, the best news is we've safely found our king and company. The next our ship was but 3 months since we gave our ship is tight in the air and bravely rigged as we first set out to sea.
Sir, all the service have I done since I went.
Oh, curses for it.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from Strange to stranger. Say how can she hither?
Well, if I did think, sir, I was well away, I'd strive to tell you. But how we know not of cloth under hatches, where but even now it's strange and seldom noisy. Holly, jingling chains, all hollow. We are waked straight away at liberty. We're waiting all our trim, freshly beheld our great and dying ship. Our master, covering to idle. So crazy, even in a dream we were divided from them, and were brought hither. What was that?
Briefly, my lord. I shall air no victory.
This is a strange maze of their men abroad. There is more than nature to their conduct. Some article must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not invest your mind on the strangeness of this business. At pick leisure, I'll resolve you of every these common accidents. So then be cheerful, and think of each thing well. Spirit, take Caliban and his companions very unpleasant today. My fares, my gracious sir, there are yet missing of your company. Some few odd lads which you remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, Billy Monster, coraggio.
These be true spies, which I wore in my head. Here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Cerberus, these be brave spirits indeed. I find my master is, I'm afraid he will chastise me.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy them?
One of the very light pink fish, and no doubt marketable.
Mark got the bad. And then said they, this mischief in need. His mother was a witch, and once was strong, and controlled the moon, it float out heads and dealing for command without a heart. These three have robbed me. This demi-devil, I wanted with these two to take my life. Two of these men you must know an oath. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge not.
I shall be pinched down.
Is this not Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk. Where have you wine?
And Trinculo is screaming right. Where did you find the grand liquor that has lied there? And say how came you into this pickle?
I've been in such a pickle since I saw you last. I fear me will never out of my bones. I shall not bear fly blowing.
Why? Why not, Stefano?
Archvino, I'm not Stefano, but Cram.
You take care of the eyes, Savannah.
I should have been a sore one then.
This is as strange a thing as fair eyes look for.
His manners are as disproportioned as in his teeth. Go surround to myself. Take with you your companion. And that you seek to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will, and I will be wise hereafter. What a thrice double ass I was to take this drunkard fool for a god.
Go to, away.
Hence, and bestow your luggage where you find it.
Or stole it, rather?
Sir, I invite your highness and your queen to my first cell. We shall take your rest for this one night. Which part of it I will waste in such discourse as the story of my life. And then in the morning, I'll bring thee to your ships, and to the Naples, where I have hope to see the nuptial of these our dear beloved Solomons, and thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my freedom.
I long to hear the story, everyone. It must take to thee a most strange one.
I'll deliver all. Promise thee calm seas auspicious years, and seals so expeditious, that shall catch a royal fleet far off. Easy, draw on me. My aerial check. Thence to the elements. Be free. And fare them there. Now my charms are all overstrung, and what strength I have tonight, which is mostly in turn, now it is true. I must be here and find my read. sent me was left enough. Since I have here my duty to go. Pardon this secret well. In this fair island, by your spell. But release me from my bonds. With the help of your good hands. Gentle friend of yours, my seals must fill, or else my project fails. Which was to please. Now I want spirits to force art to enchant. And my end is despair. Unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces through the little souls. Mercy itself frees all faults. As you from crimes, which pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.
Secondly, Mr. Jameson. Especially Mr. Jameson, who's been of great help building the set, words of advice, helping us out day in, day out, giving us ideas, helping us to make this as good as it can be. So thank you very much for the team.
Very special thanks to the art department for the years. It's all set. I'll just stand by around it. It's Tempest.
Oh, God.